Well, first of all, we have to realize the scope of this effort. The British and the French and the Germans put, 7, 8 million people into the field under arms. The Russian army was even bigger. The British army was smaller. It was still a volunteer force until 1916, but still, we're talking about millions of people who need to be armed. They need ammunition. They need to be clothed. They need to eat every day. And they need the tremendous technological apparatus that accompanied these troops into war. The artillery, the airplanes, you can just see it, right? The effort. This effort required the mobilization of entire societies. It was not possible for anybody to be exempt from this effort. And the states in belligerent countries in the First World War mobilized these resources essentially through dictatorial regimes. Normal checks and balances in government were suspended. The whole idea of a free market economy was suspended. War ministries and raw materials boards in the government took control of the economy in order to achieve these military goals. And of course, the mobilization in 1914 caused a tremendous economic crisis. If you take all the young men, or men between the ages of 18 and 40 eventually, and march them off to war, the first thing that happens is all the factories close down, dependent women and children are left without breadwinners and their families, and here too, the state stepped in, providing assistance for the unemployed initially, providing family allowances for the families. This took place in all of the major powers. Once these regimes of assistance and this principle of intervention had been established, it was very difficult to conceive of how you would back away from this after the war. And although in Britain and France the process of demobilization at the end of the war did entail the government stepping back from the economy, in many ways the sacrifices that the populations had endured during the course of the war made it very difficult for them to back away from the forms of assistance. And I think historians are in agreement that the institutions of the welfare state, that is, the state offices which step in to establish a minimum level of well-being among members of the population, that the precedent for this is established in wartime, in the First World War.